Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's our third show. This is our third show, Drama to Dharma. And thank you for being part of it today. Uh, Boy, what a week it has been. I think that was on one of our announcements that what a week it has been. I hope that it's been a wonderful week for all of you. It's been an interesting week for me, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I want to just give you a little bit about the show tonight. I'm it, pretty much. I have some friends that are here that are in the green room, and they've agreed to come up and maybe talk a little bit about what they do. So we might do some of that, or they'll just ask questions. I encourage anybody that's here to please ask questions. And we can see what answers to come up with. The angels, we're going to bring in the angels tonight that I think everybody's been looking forward to. I want Gabriel to talk a little bit and kind of help us all figure out what is going on with life, with this beautiful planet that we live on, and how we interact as humans right now on this beautiful planet that we live on with the angelic realm. So how are we connecting the non-physical realm with our physical realm, with our physical bodies and the spiritual? How do we connect together and be in alignment? Now, the topic that I chose this week is called The Mind and Our Thoughts Can Create Illness, or The Mind and Our Thoughts Can Create Wellness. And that's a little bit about what I'm going to talk about. I want to thank our sponsor, Advanced Therapeutic Services, who is the treatment center that I co-own with my husband, Jim. And they take care. I've been working in the addiction field for 30 years, over 30 years actually, since 1987, however long that is. I've been working in addiction and healthcare for, I guess that would be more like 33 years. But my husband Jim and I, we started ATS about 8 years ago, and it's an outpatient program for addiction and mental health. And so I hope you can go to our website and learn a little bit more about what we do there. It's in Rancho Mirage, California. But I want to thank ATS because they actually help sponsor any of the wonderful work that I do with my book that I'm writing, and just the time that I can take to try to figure out my purpose, my spiritual purpose, why I'm here. That's what I've been working on my journey for many years. And as a human being and living in this planet, what I call the human condition, basically. You know, there's addiction, but we changed our name from Addiction Therapeutic Services to Advanced Therapeutic Services because I don't want to focus on addiction. I want to focus on wellness. I want to focus on advancing our thought processes and some of our modalities, although we still, of course, treat addiction and we treat mental illness. But I think advanced is a little bit more of a positive word. So we're changed our name to Advanced Therapeutic Services, and that's where we can actually help each other with different addictions and mental illness and what I call the human condition, because we have addictions to food, we have addictions to, which has been one of my things. I stress eat, but you know, there's gambling, there's anxiety, depression, and things like that. Also, Recovery View is part of this show, or as far as the sponsorship goes, recoveryview.com. That's an online journal that I've had for 12 years now. And we have articles there on recovery, and we are going to be doing a monthly show. So our next monthly Recovery View show, which will be featuring our 50th edition of Recovery View, it will be on June 7th. I don't even know what day it is, but anyways, June 7th. So that'll be in a couple weeks. All right. Well, those are my announcements. And again, this is the first time doing the show on my own, so I encourage questions, please. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and welcome the guests that are here that I can see. Oh, I see Carly there. I see Dr. Ray. I see Jerry Davis, Renee Popovitz, and of course, Debbie. And I want to thank you all for being in the green room. And I can't see who else is out there, but I appreciate any encouragement or questions that you might have for us. Oh, there we go. We see Deb's Deb is here, and she has some comments, so that's great. Thank you so much, Debs, for joining us and for making comments into the space there for us. So I'm going to be switching back and forth again. I'm learning how to do this so that I don't miss any comments or questions. So this last week has been very interesting. As I mentioned last week, my husband Jim does have cancer, and he started his treatment a couple weeks ago. And he was also, and people know this, he also got exposed on his last day of work to a COVID patient because he's a physician's assistant. So he was seeing a patient, and we believe that patient definitely had the COVID. And so Jim ended up testing positive. And we found that out, that he had been exposed, but he did get a positive test, and he's already on day 12. So he's almost finished with it, whatever that means. He's been asymptomatic. He hasn't had any symptoms. We've been quarantined in our own homes. We have a couple properties, so we were able to do that. And I took the test, and I tested negative twice, so I don't have it. But what was interesting this week, and this is where the topic came up for me, and we are going to bring Gabriel in, and we're going to talk a little bit about this, but where the mind can go. Because when I was waiting for my test, I literally thought that I had it. I could have had it. And so I was symptomatic, but yet asymptomatic because they weren't that bad. But I felt like every little thing, I had the COVID. My chest was going, my chest was closing in. Oh my goodness, but that was anxiety. And so my thoughts actually created symptoms. And then as soon as I got my negative test results, I felt better. Oh, I started walking this week again, 3 miles a day. And I thought it was an interesting how the mind can make us ill, in a sense. For me, in my case, I felt these symptoms, psychosomatic. And then as soon as I knew I didn't have it, I felt better. So the mind can actually make us ill, or the mind can make us well. And that's how quickly it can happen, in a sense. So I just want to encourage this to be our conversation tonight. So if anybody has any input or questions or comments about if this has ever happened to them, where they feel, and especially during these times of not knowing, the fear, what fear can bring in the middle of the night, is just really disturbing. But I have my beliefs, and I have my angelic practice, and I've been working with the angels for so long that I was able to call on them to nurture me and to bring me back to a place of where I felt balance. But then again, it's all about, when do you ask? For me, it took a couple days. I was in such fear. I was just going for it, And then it got to the point where I really went and asked Gabriel and asked, the angels to nurture me and to help bring me out of this place of anxiety. Because then I realized that this was anxiety that I was feeling. Because in the morning, every morning I would check my vital signs, and my blood pressure usually is high, and it was actually the best it had been. It was the best blood pressure during this time. I was like, great. So I had great blood pressure. My temperature was like 97. So that was my proof that physically I was okay. And so then I would start my day. But then I was too afraid because I'm here at home, to stop and take a nap or anything. So I was pacing up and down and exercising as much as I could, because I didn't want my lungs to stop. I thought, oh my God. So I don't know. It was just definitely drama. It was certainly drama. So the name of the show is Drama to Dharma. So how did I get myself from this place in my head of total drama? And that's my opinion, that it was drama, because I was definitely dramatic. I mean, people would call me and I'd be like, don't you know that I could be dying? Really? What are you talking about? And so for my friends, thank you for, being there for me. I'm like, the trivial things were like, but don't you know that I could be dying right now? And so that was the drama. And Gabriel and my prayers and my meditation are the Dharma. So I started by meditating again and finding that place where I could just stop, in a place of meditation and prayer where your thoughts can leave you. And I've practiced meditation for many years. And 2 summers ago, I was meditating 4 hours a day, and my thoughts were beautiful, beautiful. So I, but lately I haven't been that, I might meditate 30 minutes at a time and things like that these days. But it really cued me to go back to that place of getting rid of my thoughts, letting go of my thoughts, and bringing in the inspiration, the inspired thoughts from God, or just nothing at all. Because when you're meditating and you don't have these thoughts going through your head, then for me, I can feel the peace of God. So it's just an interesting how I was able to really see the drama to Dharma. And then very quickly go back to the drama. So it goes back and forth because we can find our space, our beautiful, beautiful place of peace. And then something might trigger it. And all of a sudden, definitely I had to stop watching the news. The news was, I didn't even watch television because I was just afraid of everything. So I didn't watch television. But if I had the television on, then it might scare me. Or my phone that brings up these news alerts might trigger me back into those thoughts. So I had to get rid of my technology and really get into my space with God and prayer. And I did. I felt like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, God, for everything. I know there's a plan here. I know there's a purpose. I would not be, and I felt like I was going down, and still am, but a spiritual journey on steroids. I've gone on many spiritual journeys, to different places around the world. And when you're doing those journeys, you get to this place of raw, where you're raw with God and raw with everybody there in the group and all that stuff. Those are fun. They're a little scary sometimes, but they can be fun. So that's how I felt like I was going down, but not with a group of people, with myself. And that was interesting as well, because I knew that there's something in all of this that I know that I'm somehow evolving as a person. I don't even feel like the same person. I feel, I don't know, I feel so grateful for life. I had told one of my friends that when I realized that I was having a panic attack in the middle of the night, and that's what it was, but I really thought I was close to death. I woke up the next morning and I looked in the mirror and I said, I love you, Josie. I love you. I love you. Yes, I did. I was like so happy that I was alive and that it was a panic attack. So I just want everybody to kind of maybe learn from this experience that I've been going through and that I've gone through, to really find where your gratitude is. And we talked about this last week, but just with every breath you take, because every breath right now is all the time, but every breath is precious. So even if you take a breath right now, knowing that you can take a deep breath, no problem, no problem, I can breathe. And with that, take that breath and then keep it going into a beautiful meditation where you're inviting God and the angels, source, all the light energy into your body and into your realm. And they're right here waiting. So I invite everybody to do that right now as we're starting our show, is to invite the angelic realm, invite God, invite source, invite your spirit guides, your ancestors, whoever you love on the other side, and who you believe is your guide and your God. Gabriel calls him, he who has no name and he who has every name is God. He who is everything. God is everything or nothing. So whatever words are comforting to you, to invite God into your life, invite that realm, the source, the beautiful non-physical realm, the beautiful light realm, into this conversation that we're having and into your heart and into your life. I just hope that you can do that for peace for yourself, peace for your family, but primarily peace for yourself. And that was definitely an interesting experience that I'm still going through. Now I'm going to look here at the comments that I have of the private chats, and let's see what we have from our friends. Okay, so Dr. Ray, can I eat fake ice cream while listening to the angels? Fake ice cream? Now that okay. Well, I guess you can. You could eat an ice cream and just say that it's a beautiful angelic ice cream, that there's no calories, there's no milk, whatever it is that you want. There's no fake ice cream. There's only real ice cream. And with the angels, you can enjoy it, but don't overdo the ice cream, because everything we should have is in balance. Anytime we have too much of anything, whether it be ice cream or cake, it could just, not be good for us. But that's he's wanting to get permission to eat ice cream. So I say, let's just have him enjoy that. Okay, very good question. Let's see. Renee, she says, you are doing great. Gabriel's dancing. Thank you, Renee. We were going to bring Renee up maybe a little later, but we couldn't get her volume to work. So we might try it. She's going to share with us some of her art. But thank you, Renee. Jerry Davis. So Renee Popovitz, she's my friend from Chicago who loves to join us, and we're going to get on the show someday if we can. And then Jerry Davis is a dear friend from Memphis, Tennessee, and she says, you're doing great. You have so much to share. What does Gabriel say about when we will be through the pandemic in the U.S., in the world? Is there something we need to do as a human race to bring us back to healthy Earth? So what Gabriel's saying is that the pandemic, as healthy Earth itself is healthy, he's saying. So the Earth is fine. The Earth is fine itself. The humans are not healthy at the moment. So to bring back the humans' healthiness, this is something that's really going to evolve. It's all evolving through the planet. So it's going to take its course. It's gone viral. It's a virus. Corona is the light. It's the light around the sun, what he was saying. And so it's bringing this whole experience is bringing us to a higher vibration, believe it or not. Now, the actual virus, to say, I've learned about when I ask Gabriel questions that he doesn't give dates, because then he says, he always tells me when I ask specific questions like this, that our life is a journey, not a destination. If I were to say, okay, everything would be over by December, and it's not, or you'll just focus on December. So he doesn't give specific dates ever. I've never known Gabriel to do that. He'll give me ideas and I'll see some things. But whenever myself or anybody is asked about specific dates, the angels are like, that's not really should be the question. The question should be more about where you are in this experience. So it always takes it back to where I am in the experience. But as far as the pandemic in the United States, again, what I've seen and what he showed me, it's like a roller coaster. Okay, so I almost see a wave going up and down, and I see that there might be a couple more waves. He says that when things start loosening up, that's when we need to tighten. So we need to tighten and be more diligent as the world, because this is real. This is a virus. I mean, I can attest to it. My husband has it. So a lot of people, I thought I had it, but he's almost, again, he's doing great, no symptoms, but he tested positive with his cancer. Thank God. But if people are out and about now without masks and they're not doing their social distancing and all of that stuff, then we, as our own person, should be responsible for our health. So we should tighten up while they are loosening up. So keep the social distancing, the precautions, all those things. And when things are really tight, we might be able to loosen up because people won't be out there as much. So he also says to be ask for discernment and intuition when you're out and about, because if you ask for that, anybody who's watching this show more than likely have that ability to tap into their intuition very strongly, and you can ask to be to see what's really there, and you'll be able to feel the energy of the virus. You'll be able to feel it on somebody else even if they're in a distance, and then you're going to walk the other way. You're going to automatically, the angels will guide you to where it's safe, because we are all protected. But there will be there more than likely will be a couple more waves before it goes away, because it is a virus that, and there are so many people on the planet, and this virus really wants us. They're just like going, this is jumping in, jumping in, jumping in. So we should protect ourselves. If we take care of ourselves, then we will more than likely not get the virus. If you do get the virus, then you just pray for asymptomatic and very low symptoms. I mean, I've been talking to my husband on the phone every day. He hasn't had the symptoms, and so he has very little symptoms, which has been a blessing. And he, you can pray for that healing as well. And now once he's done, he'll never have to deal with it again. He'll have the antibodies. So that part is a blessing as well. I mean, I was thinking about that when I thought I had it, that if I did, then I would have the antibodies and things would be better. So, it's all about keeping yourself safe during this time, because it is going to go through the United States as it's going through, and it's going to be going through the world as it's going through. So I don't see that it would be more than 2 years, but for 2 years, we're going to have it as a little booger around here somehow. I mean, and then it's going to take a while. May not be as strong as it is now, but it's for the next 18 months, we're going to have to be very careful with what we do, and all of the events. Like, if you're invited someplace, be very careful. That's all. Just for the next 18 months, everybody should just try to do smaller groups and act as if the virus is right there in that room somewhere, and so that you're keeping your precautions and your distance from people. So I hope that helped you, Jerry, with that question. You can let me know if you have any follow-up question to that. And then let's see, Carly says, whole body wellness is a gift, but we have to embrace the peace and calmness that comes from simply asking God to take our fears. Yes. Love the new name. It's perfect. Whole body wellness is the only true way to heal addiction. Yes. Thank you, Carly. The entire body is that's who we are. I mean, and this is what, Gabriel talks about, is as individuals, we know our body and we are responsible for our own bodies. Nobody else can tap into that but us. We've had this body since we were born. Since a child. We know our body, and we can discern, and we can take care of our bodies. We can, again, eat the healthy food as much as possible. If you're going to eat something not healthy, then bless it and enjoy it. Enjoy it, and then it'll be blessed. If it's something that you think, I shouldn't have, don't, eat it, and then be done with it and have joy with it. Exercise is so important. Exercise will counteract anything, because your blood is flowing through your body and you're not stagnant. That's why during that time, it was so important for me just to walk around. I felt blessed that I could walk, because I felt that if I stayed in bed for days, that I wouldn't be able to walk. And fear was a big part of it. So yes, Carly, the fear, how when we ask God to take the fears away, and we get into that place of peace, if we can, whatever that, how we can find our peace inside of ourselves. Again, it's just like our body, our mind, and our spirit. Only we truly, as individuals, know what to do to get us there. And God, and this entire situation, I believe, and the angels are saying, is happening to where, as humans, we are only dependent on ourselves right now. Every time we think that we're going to do something as a group or make a plan or make plans with somebody, a lot of the times they don't work out because it's supposed to be about us and our growth, our spiritual growth. This entire time is about our spiritual growth, our individual spiritual growth, and that we can really tap into those gifts that we all know we have and feel comfortable sharing them with each other. That's the beauty, is that for a long time, I know I personally, as a CEO, would just kind of mask it. And up to this time, I get nervous about talking sometimes about it. But really, this is all about us discussing these topics and how we can encourage each other to share our gifts with each other, whatever that means. I mean, Gabriel really says they're not gifts because they're not presents. We all have them. But, from human words, he says it's okay to call them gifts if we want to, because they are very special. They are very special. But the point of him saying that it's not a gift or not a present specifically, like getting messages from the angels, all of us get those messages. It's just we share them in different ways. So he wants to encourage everybody to share your gifts as you get them. As you're receiving them, you'll know when to share them with somebody else. And then that will continue with this beautiful process of evolution that is happening on the planet right now. And it is going to be a beautiful process because there is nothing shallow about any of this at all. I feel like, okay, I got another backbone. Very good. So let's see here. What else do we have here? Oh, Carly's asking, what is fake ice cream? I'm not quite sure. Non-dairy ice cream, I suppose. The whole conversation is going to be about ice cream. That's great. But there's some really good non-dairy ice cream because that's all I can have. And then Jim says, I'm here. Hi, honey. There you are. I see you. Very good. Jim, if you have any questions, please. Let's see here. Carly, my sister Sabrina wants to ask Gabriel if her stepsons will ever be able to heal from their addiction and realize she is only trying to help them. Her stepsons have grief. And some people, when they are grieving, they will find the tools that they know. So the addiction is part of that. It's only where they're going to, and not just your stepsons, but also anybody right now. There are many people going to addiction of alcohol and drugs at the moment because that's where they can feel their comfort zone, or if you will, zone out, right? Because they don't want. So that's kind of where it's almost like for them, it's a crutch at the moment. But if you continue to pray for them as their mother, because you are their stepmother, and love them and show them the love that you have for them and the concern, and you see them as the whole sober person that they truly are, the sweet boys that they truly are, you see them in that light, then you will see that the healing will begin. Now, for them to stop their addiction, again, that's going to be completely up to them, each one of them as an individual. Because as humans, we can pray for each other. But as parents, we can see our children as perfect, as whole humans. And we can give them that beautiful energy. At the end of the day, every human has their own journey. I've been going through this journey with my son for many years. And I've had to give it up a lot of times. But he right now is I just got off the phone with him. He's doing okay, thank God. But all I can do is continue to see him in this light as the perfect, because they are perfect, however they are. And they know when we don't believe that they are whole humans. So if we can see them as whole humans and visualize that and pray for that, then it will follow them. But again, as humans, we only can focus on our own well-being, because God gave us free will as humans. And we can't take that away from anybody. We can't force anything on anybody. So what's important for the boys is for them to know that you love them and that you see them as whole, and for you to encourage them with their gifts right now, whatever they are. They're just, give them that joy that you can as a mother, and know that they love you. And even though they may not show it, that's okay. But if you give it to them, they will feel it. They will feel it. And if you pray for them, they will feel it. It's a special bond that you have with these boys. So you can hold that beautiful prayer for them. And then when they're together with you, of course, then you're going to say the rules. When we're together, there's no using, let's just have a nice time together. And right now you may not even be seeing them, only on Zoom. But if they can feel in your heart that the love, and that you're praying for them, and the concern that you have, there's a lot of miracles. And they're in their process right now. But certainly they can release the addiction. Absolutely, it can happen. It happens every day. Every day. And I see it every day, and the angels work every day. But it's important to just see that person whole and sober and happy. Don't see them, don't feel them with those drugs in them. Just, you're giving them that energetic light so that they're not stuck in the mud in your eyes. Oh, okay. And Jim's asking, what's the best way to release anxieties? Well, that's a good question. Let me see. I've got to, speaking of, okay. Sorry. It's my age, guys. I'm sorry. Once in a while, I have to pull out my pen. Okay, the best way to release anxiety is to not even say the word anxiety, Gabriel says. Just release that word from your vocabulary first off. Just get rid of the word anxiety. And think about what it is that you truly want, to be joyful, to be whole. So the opposite of anxiety would be peace, would be joy. So, the best way to release it, number one, is not even to say it, but then to think of something that will bring up your energetic, that will make you feel safe. Because anxiety, you're feeling fear, right? So where is your safety? And try to bring those thoughts into your head, into your thoughts. Your head would be your safety zone. Where is that place? Where is that place? And sometimes it's difficult for people to think about that happy place. So it can just be music. It can be art. It can be your favorite vacation spot, whatever it is that can switch the flip of your thoughts from anxiety. So take the one, get rid of the word, and then think of something that's going to be the opposite of that. And you can test that. You can test that out by, when something is just, and I know I did, because I was able to switch my anxiety. Once I realized that it was anxiety, then that was easy, because I've gone down anxiety road before. I knew I wasn't dying. I've gone down the anxiety road before, so I kind of know, what to do, and that's my breathing and thinking about and just knowing that that's what it is. It's like, okay, I can get out of this. I've had this before. I've been here before. This is an old story for me. Sometimes in my life, it's been maybe a few years since I've had anxiety. But hey, if I'm having anxiety, at least I know what it is. Do anything to bring your blood pressure down, to bring peace. Wherever your happy spot is, some tea, chamomile tea, reading something that will distract you from the anxiety. Again, Gabriel's saying, take the word out when you have that going on and flip it to something completely opposite. And it's definitely helpful, again, to bring in the white light into your body. So if you can do a meditation where the energy of God is going in and out of you through your breath, in and out of you, and you can feel that white light energy, that's a really quick way to feel peace as well. Let's see. Carly says Arrowhead Lodge. That's Jim's happy place. And he says, yes. Okay. So they're having a little side conversation. Sorry, I don't know if on these little chats, am I supposed to read everything or am I just start sharing with everybody? Okay. So I'm going to go over to the comments here and, oh, okay. So we have the comments. So Lenore, okay. And we have Debs here and Charles Maddox. It says, hello. Lenore says, hello. Is this actually live or just another rerun? Lenore, this is live. Can you hear me? Yeah, we're live right now as far as, yep, it says we're live 35 minutes. So this is great. You can ask questions as we go along. And she's saying sympathy pains. Yes, thank you. I know, and again, I'm not sharing so that people can feel the pain, but I know that there's pain out there anyway. So I'm trying to help with having a discussion of how do we get through to the other side, because I truly feel like I am there today. Today was a great day. I walked, I went to a couple appointments, and I feel really good that I was able to do that. Okay, and then Deb says, yes, this works with mental illness as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I say mental illness instead. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. And Ellie says, hello, Josie. Hello. I'm in no hurry to go anywhere. Right. It's exactly right. We're staying here. It's true. We are staying here. We're staying put. So, and then we have somebody here that says, we love you. So if you guys, this is so beautiful. I see the little hearts. If you guys, share those, it's just amazing to me because again, this is my first time doing this on my own. So any interaction, questions, I welcome them wholeheartedly. If I could have us all here in one room, like I do my events, that's what I would do. So I'm trying to figure out, because usually I do events in person, as most of you know. So I'm like, okay, how do we do this, but online? So we're having a discussion. Anyway, so let's see here. Where do we go? Private chat. Okay, so I've checked all the little notes and everything. And again, if anybody has any questions, we still have a little bit of time here. Now, my friend Renee, I'm going to see if, I don't know if I can hear her. That's the problem. I think next week we're going to figure out the sound. But I was going to bring her up, and she was going to share with us a little bit about her art. Now, Renee is an attorney from Chicago. So she's an awesome attorney from Chicago, if anybody ever needs one of those. But in the meanwhile, she's been a healthcare attorney for many years. But besides that, the relationship that we have is that for the last several years together, we've been really working on our spiritual work. So she has been divinely painting watercolors, and just with all these beautiful messages from the angelic realm. And so she was going to share some of those and a little bit of her experience and how interesting it is to be an executive or a professional. And then, okay, so you're a lawyer, and then you've got these spiritual, beautiful messages coming through. How do you even, and that'll be my question for her. It's so interesting, how do you do that? Like you still have your law practice, and that's your training, but then you also have all your spiritual work that you're doing. And that's going to happen more and more with all of us, regardless of what our professions are, or if we're home, with our children and whatever it is that our daily lives are. But yet we get this ping in our heart and our soul that there's more that I need to be doing here. There's more. How do I integrate the spiritual work that I do, that I love to do, that's fun, that used to just kind of be philosophy and a hobby, but now it's just right forefront. You feel it. If you feel it burning inside of you to do this. And I just encourage everybody to do it however you can. And even if it means to share with each other, to, share on the show if you want to come and be a guest or any of those things. But just a place where I have Tri-Angels. It's a new group that I started. And it's a Facebook group called Tri-Angels, and it's a private group. And I kept it private because I want it to be a place where we can have those discussions, where we can talk about, do you believe in angels? Where what experiences do you have with angels? I have this one thing I do with the clients. I haven't done it in a while. But the therapists are really good about doing their trauma timeline, which I completely agree with. That's all part of the work, right? Doing your trauma timeline. Well, what I've done in my group, my spiritual group, is have an angel timeline. So I've asked the clients to put a timeline together of people in your life that have actually been a positive influence, who you feel that has influenced you in a positive way, that you could say might have been an angel in your life. And then you kind of look at that timeline, and if they're doing the trauma timeline, and that happened once where they did the trauma timeline and the angel timeline and then put the two timelines together, and they were actually around the same time. So it's interesting to have those kind of discussions about the spiritual and the world that we live in now, and how everything is a duality, but everything is all the same. Again, it's all the same. Every breath, every word that we speak is divine, Gabriel says. Otherwise it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. So I just want everybody to think about that as you're going on in your week, and as you're going on every day, to know that we are just such divine people, humans, so we're here for a reason. And everything that we say and do is inspired. Otherwise it wouldn't be. It just wouldn't. And then you say, well, what about like when I say bad words? Well, everything's energy. There's really no bad words. I mean, there's really no right or wrong. It's all energy. So you can say a word that may be considered, quote, not a good word, but if you're saying it in jest, then it's actually funny. And then it's not. Or you can say a beautiful word, but you can say it with like a connotation. Well, so again, everything is energy that we say or do. And so that's all part of, if everything is energy flowing through us from the from the non-physical realm, everything here is energy, then it's up to us. How do we use that energy? How do we use that in our daily life? How do we use that in our words? Because it's like our bodies are just our temporary coats, because we're all eternal beings living in this physical world. So we're eternal beings, we're eternal spirits, we're always here. And we're joined together, yet we're individuals as our bodies. So our physical bodies are individual, that's where we'd have to take care of ourselves. Our spiritual self is all one, is what Gabriel's saying. Spiritually, we're all one and very connected. And we know that through our conversations that we have with each other, or even deja vus. We know we've had experiences when we can feel that connection with each other. So let's see here. Oh, thank you, Ellie. You're saying this is awesome. Thank you so much. And then balance. Let's see. I feel like I'm being led on a spiritual journey. I haven't really talked to anyone about it. Some days I feel crazy. Exactly. LOL. That's right. Because it's not so it's like, okay, we feel crazy when we're doing our work, our spiritual work. But really, if you look at it, what is real and what is not? Our spiritual work is what is real. The other is not. If you think about it that way, from a spiritual level. So walk into that. Gabriel's saying, walk towards that. Walk towards that unknown, that beautiful spirit. And then you're going to connect together with your spirit, and you are going to just start having so much fun together. Because when it's all the way it's supposed to be, and you're connecting with your higher self, it's all joy and happiness. When you feel that laughter, it is a higher vibration. That is the angelic realm, because they're funny. They're funny. And Gabriel, when I do sessions, he's like hilarious, and then every time I take myself serious, there's something that's just like reminds me of I'm not really that serious. It's not, I take myself way too serious, I say. So, when we can find that peace and that joy, and walk towards our purpose, and walk towards that spiritual experience that we're having, walk towards that journey, because we're all in a journey right now together. It's a beautiful journey that we're having together. And even at this moment, because as what the angels have been saying, is that there is no future planning right now. And there is no ego right now, because every time we do, it just kind of shoots back at us. Everything's a big mirror. So living in the now has always been a philosophy. But right now it's reality. It is reality that we only have this moment, truly. So if you're feeling that spiritual tug, walk towards it. Just lean into it, and you're going to get these beautiful peace messages, and you're going to sleep like a baby tonight because you're leaning into your spirit, and it's a beautiful thing. And thank you for sharing this and feeling comfortable that you can share this with us, because it is something that usually we keep top secret. Our spiritual, I say, people go, well, when do you have time to do angel work? And this, and I'm like, well, that's what I do at night. By day, I do work in the office, and by night, I, do this stuff. So, but what they're saying is that it's all one together. So we should be doing this all day long, and enjoy life, and enjoy life as it should be enjoyed. Let's see if we have any other questions here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I have Carly asking a question a bunch of times, but I'm not sure. Carly, can you put in your question, because it repeated several times, and I want to make sure that I'm answering the correct question. So if you can put your question in one more time, that would be great, because if you have a question that you want me to bring to the conversation, because I think it repeated like 5 times, and I'm not sure which one. Um, and thank you, Jerry's just saying that she loves that walking, just leaning into our spirit. And we all have different journeys right now that we're going on. They're either medical journeys, emotional journeys, um, being at home when we're used to being out and about. Even if we're at first I have friends that just like to be home, and they don't really go out at all. They're like, well, this is fine because I never go out. And then they realize, oh my God, this is not good. I usually at least go to Starbucks and have coffee by myself because I like to be alone, but there's people around them. So now they're feeling it also, the anxiety of not having that human contact. So that is something, that could be an experience right now that we're going through. So remember, when we feel that way, that's the perfect time to lean into our spiritual self, because that's the calling. When we're feeling lonely, the calling is be with your spiritual being, because you're not alone. We're not alone. We have so many that, our spirit just waiting to share with us what beautiful gifts that we have to bring to each other. And even if it means that sometimes we talk and talk and talk, maybe it means that we're silenced for a little while. We're listening to what God says. And then maybe it's that somebody doesn't talk and now they're going to have a voice. So it could be just these different things that we're not expecting, things that we may never have felt comfortable with in our life before. Now are going to be just second nature to us. And that's okay. Embrace it. Because I think it's going to be a wonderful thing when we can actually step out of who we thought we were and now become who we truly are, who we've always meant to be. And then you can figure out what that means. I had a friend of mine who she said, I wonder how many women are going to really embrace their gray hair now. Because they can't color their hair. So she's like, I wonder if people are just going to be more. And I'm like, I don't know. That'd be interesting, but certainly not going to be me. Not yet. But, I thought that was an interesting question. She said, there's going to be more women out there, with gray hair and really rocking it, because she's done that. And she looks gorgeous. I think, oh my God. But, so little things like that also. Are we going to embrace our, some things that we never thought we would embrace about ourselves, that we can embrace now is the time. It's like a new slate in so many ways for everybody. Renee says, we are living in interesting times. It is time to embrace what you are feeling. We are being called to share our gifts and talents. Yes, you are not crazy. You are not weird. You are extraordinary and loved. Share your light. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Renee. Because it is an interesting time where we can all just truly be who we are and walk right into that. Let's see. I wanted to make sure it was an okay question. Didn't look like it went through, but did it? She wants to know, this is from Carly, if she will be safe. Her stepsons are threatening her with much anger. Okay, so whenever there's violence and you're basically in a different realm than they are, they're angry right now. And I would say she needs to keep herself safe, keep them in prayer, but not have them at the home if there's going to be violence and yelling, whatever that looks like. So for her to stay safe is to quarantine herself, basically. She can say, with this COVID, I really need to quarantine myself right now, and I need to do some introspection, sons. I know because, again, right now, the domestic violence is going up everywhere. The anger management is needed because people are at home alone with their family members who may have had anger issues to begin with, let alone now for months. So if she does have to be in the same home, she would just need to quarantine herself. And that's more than for the physical reason. It's also for her spiritual and emotional. So she should start like energetically distancing herself with love from them. And that way they can just move on to whatever it is they have to do. And then she can focus in on her light and her love that she has. Because the more fear she has, the darker it's going to get. And I experienced that just from my own anxiety and fear over this last week. So however she can uplift herself and truly distance herself, but if they must be in the same home, then she is going to have to just put herself in quarantine. And she could say, you know what, kids, I just need to quarantine myself. I feel that physically that's what I need to do until she can have them leave or calm down. But as families, it's a difficult time for families right now if they can't leave the house. Now, again, she can encourage them to go for hikes, to go for hikes outside. They can go for hikes, anything to release that energy that they have built up inside of them is very important right now. So I send so much love and light to your sister, and I hope we all can just send beautiful love and light in the home where there's tension in the home. But she needs to keep herself safe, take care of all her precautions, and know that they're going to be okay. They're going to be whatever it is that they're going to be because they're adults. They're not little children. They're adults, and they're making their own decisions. But she can't get ill herself. She can't get ill herself because she feels responsible for these adults who are now needing to just grow up and be in their own world. So she can bless and release them so that she can continue to grow as a human being. And I suggest that she calls, a counselor for help, or she can call over to ATS and talk to one of our therapists. That way, she has support and she's not alone. It's important during these times that we're not alone because there's so much definitely loneliness that and for some people loneliness can be depression, and some people loneliness will turn into anger. So we'll keep Sabrina and her family in our prayers. Yeah, definitely. They live in different places, thank God. Okay, then perfect. She needs to just quarantine herself. She can quarantine herself and say, boys, we're under quarantine, and just leave it at that. She really should just bless and release them, and she should stay at home. That everything is, that's just part of what this journey is for us right now. Sometimes right now, I don't know about you guys, but there might be situations where you would normally see your family all the time, and that may not have been a healthy situation. And now you don't have to see them all the time. So that's actually okay because you can just do FaceTime with them or Zooms with them. And then you live your life and they live their life. That's another intervention that to me feels like a spiritual intervention. Sometimes families are just always together, and they may not be it may not be a healthy situation. But right now we can all be healthy together and just send love to each other, and we're all growing as humans individually. It's an interesting time for that, how to watch it, how relationships are going to be so different after this whole stay at home. There's going to be people that come into your life that you wouldn't have expected it. And then there are going to be people that are just going to kind of grow up and go on with their life. And that's okay too, because they're able to do it. If we're always trying to fix everything for them, they can't grow up. And I'm speaking for myself with family members that I have. This has been a beautiful time for me to see my children actually stepping up and living their own lives. Usually I would just be interfering all day long. There's no, I can't interfere because I've been quarantined. So they're doing it. They're figuring it out. It's a blessing. It's wonderful to watch. Let's see. They have both been, let's see, they have both been in two since Bill passed. Yes, their father died. Their father died recently. Sabrina's husband passed a couple years ago, and it was a tragic immediately. Nobody expected it. And so this is part of all of that. And again, Sabrina, you're in my prayers. And I hope we can talk on the phone sometime because you're a beautiful woman. And this is all part of what's going on in the world. But you can just let those boys be themselves, and you must take care of yourself, is what I'm getting. And then, if the boys need treatment, we can help them find treatment too. There's so many resources out there, if they're willing to go and get help themselves. That could be an option for sure, because that's definitely a possibility. Okay. Now, Ellie is saying, I don't know how to interpret messages. I know I'm getting them every morning. Oh, every morning at 4:44, I'm awake. Absolutely. That's the angel hour. Oh boy, do I know that hour, Ellie. 4:44 definitely is a morning. I mean, that's almost my alarm clock. Or it might be 4:40 and then, turns 4:44. That is the time when I started writing. When I write my book, it would be like 4:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I go to bed by 9. I get up at 4:44. Definitely, those are the messages the angels are saying. Go for it. Start writing down whatever you got in your dreams that night, whatever comes to you at that moment. Write it down, and you will get those messages. You don't even have to interpret it because you're going to have them right there. It's so perfect. I mean, that 4:44 is like, hello, that's your alarm clock from the angels. Write it down. Whatever your thoughts you're getting and downloads, I call them, just write them down and embrace them. That is when you're getting your beautiful, beautiful messages of peace and love, and just continue to do that. I love that. That's so perfect. Sallys.com has become my best friend. I don't know Sallys.com, but I'll certainly look it up because that sounds like fun. Again, join our group Triangels, and we can, all talk about all these fun little things that go on. 4:44 in the morning, 3:33, not so much. Definitely 2 o'clock is not a good time. But there's all these different midnight. Definitely want to be asleep. So but have so much fun with it. It's just great to hear that you're getting these messages coming through, and you definitely will have a lot more coming through. Gabriel saying that they're just waiting. They're calling you. They're saying, "Hello, wake up, Ellie. It's time. We've got some messages for you." It's true. Just write it down. They're saying. That's part of why I wanted to do this show too, because just to confirm, so that people know that when they're getting these messages, because the angels tell me that the humans are always, praying to them and talking to them, and they want them to get their messages across, to know. And this is a confirmation right there. That's why I was so excited, because yes, they're saying, please, they're calling you, and they definitely have some beautiful messages for you. So just lean into it without, don't think about it. Just lean into your spirit, and you will definitely. Oh, hair color. Oh, hair color at Sally's. Right. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I love the sprays. What I've been doing is those little sprays that you can wash out. Those are really good for the root touch up. Those are fun too. So that's kind of, you see a couple little colors, because I have different colors of the spray. It's a lot of fun. And those are, and anyways, thank you for the Sally's. I haven't even gone to their website. I bet I can get some fun things there. Oh my goodness. Okay. That's fun conversation there. Let's see if I have anything else. Oh, Jim says, okay. Carly says, what does the 4:4 represent? That again, those are the angel hours. Whenever the numbers are lined up, that's a cue to say, hi, this is us. And Jim says it's like 11:11. We'll be having a conversation sometimes, and we'll be like, "Oh, it's 11:11." That whenever I see 4:44, 4:44, 11:11, and I'm saying something or thinking something, then I know that that's confirmation that it's true. I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's true. It's 11:11." So sometimes you can just, have those conversations with yourself and with your higher source. It's definitely can be, if you feel like it's a good thing that you're feeling and thinking, that it's a confirmation. Let's see, and that's why I love that so much. That's why, yes, it's amazing. Well, guys, it's 7:59. This hour has just flown by. I don't know about you, but I have had a wonderful time because I've been able to answer these questions. I
It's
hope
8
you,
o'clock.
oh, there it goes. I hope you join us next week because this is weekly show and we're going to have, conversations like this. We'll have some guests and I want to be an inspiration to you as you are an inspiration to me. So have a blessed, beautiful angel week. And until next Thursday at 7 o'clock, we'll see you then. Thank you so much. And to be respectful of your time, we are logging out. Thank you.